All right. UAE, is going full swing towards Expo 2020, and you also have the 50 years celebration. So now once again the hype has started to build up in the papers, and the rulers are once again talking and giving a lot of promises and hopes and projects. And this Project 50 is right now the trending topic in UAE. Okay. Now, this video will be based on the this article that was published in Gulf News and Khalij Times about the Project 50, the first phase. They are talking of Emiratization. For those of you who are wondering what is Emiratization, it is putting Emiratis, that is the citizens of the country, into the private sector. Now, I'll give you my analysis as to why I read the article. I read the article not once. I read it around like 6, 7, 8 times, read it slowly, underlined. And I'm normally a very fast reader. I can read an article in less than a minute or minute and a half. But I took my time to read and understand this article. I took down notes. And I'll tell you why it's not going to work. And I want you to comment down below and tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. I'm not looking for only a lawyer, right? You can even tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Now, see, the UAE government has been trying really, really hard to get more of its citizens into the workplace. You have Oman with Omanization, sounds like womanization. Saudi and Saudiization, Bahrain and Bahrainization, and Kuwait and Kuwaitization, and they just put this Zation and after the country's name, and they try to make it sound as if it's an intelligent term. The basic crux is we want you to expats who form 80% of the country's population, because they don't have any population, it's a bloody desert. Okay, 80% of the expats, we want you to employ our citizens. Now, why people don't employ the citizens, I've made it in a previous video. I don't want to go through it here. You can just type Machedo. Emiratization will not work. The reason is there is no fear factor. See, when you're not afraid of anything, when you have 100% government support, when you get paid 10 times more for the same job than a normal expat, why does it? It's like, for example, I can either employ one Emirati or I can employ 10 Indians. I can guarantee you, obviously, 10 Indians will give better output than one Emirati. In fact, if you take one Emirati versus one Indian, the Indian will still work hard. I'm not saying the Emirati is not smart. I'm not saying all Emiratis are dumb. I'm not saying all Emiratis are lazy. A lot of my friends work with Emiratis. I have friends who are Emiratis. They're some of them, like you're talking of maybe the 10%, exceptionally intelligent, very dynamic, and especially the ladies, they are very passionate about completing their education, even up to PhD. So there are a lot of Emiratis who are just a cut above the rest. And I strongly believe, had the UAE government not given them so many perks and benefits, these Emiratis would have gone and worked globally. But nobody can match what the country would give because it gives them extra. So they prefer to be in their comfort zone, like you're a big dog in your own backyard. So nothing to take away from these Emiratis. There are a lot of enterprising, lot of dynamic, lot of creative Emiratis. And in fact, some of my clients, they prefer working for Emirati bosses than Indian bosses. Okay, to be honest with you, or Asian bosses. So Emiratis are not all bad, but they are far and few, handful. Okay, very, very few, very few. Just like in India, 80% of the population is all dumb fucks. Okay, 20% is at least different, and out of which 1% is maybe millionaires, billionaires. So the same equation. Now, so nobody wants to employ an Emirati because one is they don't need a visa, so they don't give a fuck. Second one is an Emirati will always be supported by the government. Third one is they want 10 times more the salary. Fourth one is they want, I think, I wouldn't even say 1/10 the work. Some of them don't want to work, they just want a salary. Okay, that is why in Oman and Saudi and all these places where expats employ citizens, they tell them you don't need to come to work, just take your salary and sit at home. Because if they come to work, they'll just cause problems. And for a expat who is a guest in a country, if he starts, you know, just imagine like an expat, you can shout at an expat, I'll ban your visa, I'll kick you out of the country. You can shout at him. Can you shout at a Emirati? He will beat his chest and say, I'm local. Oh fuck. And then he'll go to the police station and say, Allah Khali, you know, Islam, and this man insult Islam, and the cop will say, okay, fine, we don't need any evidence. He insulted Islam, put him in jail. So expats are generally, they don't want trouble. It's like trying to keep a king cobra in the house. Okay, so that's why they don't want to employ. Now, let's see what the article says, and let's see why I say it will not work. So the title of the article is, in Gulf News, UAE allocates 24 billion dirhams, 24 billion, just let that sink in, 24 billion to hire 75,000 Emiratis. And they also have another article which was even more detailed, full list of UAE Emirati Talent Competitiveness Project. Okay, and there's also an article in Khaleej Times, but the Khaleej Times article was not properly written and the details are not there. Very poor journalism. Okay, so now what does it say? I've written down a summary. I'm not going to read the entire article, so that at least it is more interesting to listen to. Okay, otherwise there are too many numbers, you'll get confused. So the project of the 50s is a Nafis, it's called is a Nafis initiative. This event was held in Qasr Al Watan in Abu Dhabi on Sunday. Okay, it was attended by all these ministers and senior officials and all that. Okay, so overall the gist of the whole announcement that they had is 24 billion will be allocated to employ Emiratis. There will be a Emirati Talent Competitiveness Council, ETCC. Okay, 75,000 Emiratis will be employed in the next 5 years. So that's 25,000 or 25,000 per year. So if you divide, it's like 2,000 Emiratis every month, or roughly divide by 30 is how much? 2,200 to what? So say 60 Emiratis every day or something like that. Okay, approximate. I'm bad at maths. Okay, so it's a very ambitious goal, which is not at all realistic. You know, the problem with these projections and these big numbers is they just, to be very crude, they pull it out of their ass. 24 billion, 1 trillion, Saudi Aramco 1 trillion, and will be 200 million people will come to UAE for Expo 2020, you know, for in the Sheikh Maktoum airport. The Palm Islands will generate 1 billion revenue, and you can come out with all these numbers as a prediction 5 years or 10 years, like how they say about cryptocurrency. It's going to be, one coin is going to be $1 million. See, a lot of people can say a lot of things about the future. Nobody knows the future, nobody has seen it, and it's seldom the case that whomsoever gives a speculative prediction or prophecy, it ever comes true. It's only when you're trying to sell a concept or an idea, you hype things up to create excitement. So this number is 75. In fact, let me ask you this. They are saying 75,000 Emiratis they'll employ. Here's a simple challenge to you. All these years, Sheikh Mohammed and Sheikh Zayed and, not Sheikh Zayed, Sheikh Khalifa and all these other sheikhs, they made big time predictions. How many Emiratis will be employed? They made all these big rules. Tell me, are you holding them accountable to these numbers? Did they give a report? 5 years ago, we made this prediction that 100,000 projects will be completed, or 200 million will come to the airport every day or every month, sorry, we failed. Okay, these are the 10 predictions we gave. 8 came through or 8 didn't come true. They never give a report card. They only give predictions. So when you can fart out of your ass all the big numbers and you don't have to give a report card, you can continue. The reason why they're doing this is it works. Like, I'll tell you a simple thing. There's cryptocurrency gurus and supporters like Kathy Wood and all these people who are praising that coconut is going to fall. All these people who are talking about cryptos, do they ever mention, okay, we were wrong these many number of times? No. So in the same way, this number is useless. Then the goal is to start with 2%. Okay, you initially start with 2% Emiratis. So if it was 100, out of 100 employees, you employ 2. If it is 50 employees, you employ 1. If it is less than 50, you can't employ 1.5, half an Emirati. So it's obviously 100 and above employees. I'll tell you how people will play with this loophole. If they know you have 50 employees and you have to employ 1 Emirati, they'll try to keep the number of employees that they have below the required number. That is how so many CEOs and businessmen who have been dealing with, that's what they do. They're like, if I employ 50, I have to employ 1 Emirati, I'll keep the employee count to 47 or 48 or 49. Then the government cannot put the regulation. They will play with the loophole, you watch. So 2% has to be Emirati. And all the way to 10%. That means today if you have 100 employees, have 2 Emiratis. After 5 years, you'll have 10 Emiratis. Now, just let that sink in. If the cost of 1 Emirati, it takes 10 times the salary. I'm giving a rough figure. They take much more. 1 Indian is, or Bangladeshi or Sri Lankan or Pakistani, takes 3,000 dirhams or $1,000. Example, $1,000. Emirati takes $10,000. Indian works 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Emirati works 5 days a week, strictly 8 hours. Comes late, goes early. You can't say anything to him. Okay. Then Indian, you can twist his arm, shout at him, make him work in off days. Emirati can't do anything like that. On top of that, all Indian, only salary, nothing else to provide. Emirati, pension, insurance, benefits, bonus, this, that, whatever government regulations. So tell me, if 1 Emirati is equal to 10 employees, and these 10 employees can give you 10x each one, that means 100x the productivity of 1 average Emirati. Who is stupid enough to employ 10 Emiratis when you can employ maybe 100 employees? You see what I'm asking, the logic. It's a simple logical thing here. Okay, you are talking about, oh, why not take a CFO, CEO? I'll come to that. Now the first point is Emirati Talent Competitiveness Council. Okay, 75,000 jobs over the next 5 years. Fine. Okay, that's once again a future prediction. Okay, 2. Now this is what has been followed in Oman, but is being manipulated. And I'll tell you how. Now UAE is introducing it. They had something like this, but now they are going to make it like public. If you are a high school graduate, you'll get 4,000 extra than whatever you'll be getting. So whatever salary is agreed upon, you'll get 4,000 extra. Diploma, 6,500 dirhams extra. University, 8,000. So they want you to finish your college so that you can get double or 2.5 times the minimum from the government. Okay. Then I didn't understand this term. 5 years the salaries will be subsidized. I couldn't understand the term. And there you will get an additional high school student will get 3,000 extra. So 4,000 plus 3,000, you'll get 7,000 for a high school graduate. Diploma guy will get 4,000, so that's 6,000 plus 4,000, 10,000. And a university graduate will get 8,000 plus 5,000, that's 13,000. So you have 7,000, 10,500 and 13,000. Okay. So this is the extra that you'll get if you complete your education. So they want people to finish their education, get a degree. Most of them, I can challenge you, will get namesake degrees. Some will get fake degrees. Many of them go to India, Pakistan and get these fake degrees. It's very well known. You just have to go through LinkedIn and just type a fake degree, and I don't know if those posts have been removed. Many of them do that, especially who are lazy. It's not only an Emirati problem, it's everywhere. Okay. Then number 3, merit program. So they will support anyone who is a nurse, accountant, coder, financial analyst, or any professional career path with a fixed bonus of 5,000 above their salary. So I don't know if, let's say you have 13,000 plus another 5,000 from the government. I don't know if that is together or this is separate or what it is. It's not very clear. See, I'll tell you, I will not give you the conclusion at the end. I'll tell you now only. What you're doing is giving free money. What you're doing is, you're just making them lazy. You get this, I'll give you free money here, free money here, free money here. And you're not giving it based on, prove it through merit. Prove it through productivity. Prove it through a competitive formula with results. I'll give you the money. Like for example, in Olympics, if you win gold, silver or bronze, you have won something. Fine, even if you qualify, means you have competed with others. Fine. There I can understand if you give someone a house or car or bonus. But just for joining the league, just for practicing every day, if you give money, people namesake will come and chumma, just practice. Same thing what is happening here. You're telling people, you just get this degree, you just get this title, accountant or whatever, we'll give you this free money. So where is the drive? The drive is until you get that. Then sit at home and get free money. See, if you use your common sense, if in a family you have children and you just tell them, just study every day, I'll give you $100. Namesake, they'll study. But if you tell them, you get number 1 in the class, I'll give you this big reward, then that's competitive. You're making bums out of them. And human nature is such whereby they'll always see shortcuts. They will always see loopholes. I had Emirati friends who only wanted to go to work, namesake, and immediately in the evening go to a bar, go to a pub, drink alcohol because they could take 4-5 credit cards and they had loans, housing loan which they use for other purposes. And I would tell the man, you have 4-5 credit cards, aren't you worried? Yeah, year end, we will get bonus 4 times salary or 3 times salary. Those days, even Itisalad, 4 salaries or 5 salaries plus bonus plus cash incentives, I'll pay off all the cards. So you're breeding mediocrity and calling it competitive. Okay, free money is always a problem. Number 4 is pension. Okay, fine. When you're old and retired, every country offers pension. Fine. Now this is another one. Child support. Every child a local Emirati has will get 800 dirhams per child, but the maximum is 3,200. That means don't start multiplying like rabbits. Have 20 children in the name of Allah, as you can say it, and then take 800 per child. Maximum 4 children. After that, we'll stop. So they want each Emirati to have 4 children, and they'll keep paying this 800 till they're 21. Okay. Number 6 is training. 1.25 billion is allocated there. Who knows if they have this kind of money in the first place. Okay, apprentice program, that is training on the job, and fine, that will be for free. Okay, now here's the funny bit, the complicated bit. Privatization. That means for expat run companies with 50 employees, okay, minimum. So people will start at 48 and they'll stop. Operational for 5 years. I'm sure they'll even come into with some turnover or something later on, because they'll see it's not working out. They must employ 2% of Emiratis and gradually reach to 10%. So fine. Healthcare. If you are a nurse or into nursing, this is the support they'll give you. Complete your school, they'll help you. Diploma, they'll help you. Higher diploma, they'll help you. Degree, they'll help you, which is kind of good because it brings more professional. But I'll tell you where the drawback. Can you remotely in your back of your mind ever see an Emirati who gets a self-entitled big salary, working in the slums, working for the poor, cleaning people's shit, being of service? Or will they employ a Filipino, Bangladeshi? Filipinas are the best in the medical this thing. They go around the world. Or do you think they'll employ an Indian? Tell me which Emirati is going to agree to work in a COVID ward with sick patients? Come on, you know what I'm saying. They are not going to, they want a boss's job and they say, la, marif, la. They'll make all that drama. Okay, number 10 is graduation fund, 1 billion. Yeah, keep putting billion and trillion and announcements, you can make big things, 11, entrepreneurship. This one is another funny one. We are coming to the climax. So from 2022, next year onwards, government employees will get an option. Now, I'll tell you why they are doing it also. 6 to 12 months career break. That means you're working as, let's say, a director in a government job, 6 months paid holiday to 12 months paid holiday. Don't need to come to work, take the money and take the government assistance to set up a business. Okay, so you get 1 year's full salary, set up the business. Now, why they are asking people to do this? Because every Emirati's goal, every Emirati's dream is to work for the government. And why? Because the benefits that you get offered, loans, housing, car, education, children, retirement, pension, I mean, a private company can never match it. In fact, every Emirati I know, their goal, their dream, it's not to work for a multinational giant, it's to work for the government. Because the government will really take care of the employees. Okay, one thing is for a fact that you can't play around there. You really have to work. They're not going to take shit. But the career, I mean, it's like even in India or Pakistan, you work for a government job, your life is set. The dream is to work there. And that is why you have Indian students who study 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, extra classes just to memorize, literally memorize the examinations and get a seat, for these colleges. Just imagine 10 to 15 years, every day you memorize only one thing. And the grades are what? It's so competitive. It's 99.99 digit. 99.999. And 99.999, there will be some 10,000 students. 99.998, another 4,000 students. 99.997. So it is so competitive. So even here for Emiratis, obviously they don't have to do this. But I'm telling you, they would prefer to work for a government this thing rather than private. Okay. And that is why they're saying, please stop being so dependent on the government. We don't have many jobs. Work for private. Okay. 12. Early retirement. So they want people to retire not at 60 or this thing. They want to empty and create more roles. Especially in Abu Dhabi, you have this. These guys at senior levels, they have too much of influence and too much of power. They're not ready to leave. And this in turn, you don't have any vacant positions. So how do you employ the younger generation? So they want dynamic the new Emiratis, the new blood. So they're saying 50 years, take a retirement. You can have a golden handshake, which is 5 years salary. Just let that sink in. Imagine if you're getting 100,000 per year, which is normally for them, it's 100,000 per month. 100,000 a year, 5 years, 500,000. It's a very attractive this thing. So they're saying, we'll give you this cash. I personally, I don't think this option will be available for everyone. I think they will select who they want or who qualifies for this. Others, just imagine if you have So if you have 20% of the workforce that says, give me 5 years salary in advance, I'll retire. Finish. Government, 1 billion is, whatever fund is there, it's all gone. Okay, last is unemployment benefits. You don't get a job for 6 months, we'll take care of you. Okay. See now, overall, when you summarize the whole thing, what is the gist of the whole thing? The gist of the whole thing is nothing but, we'll give you more free money. Here, free money, take. Free money to work here, free money to do this, free money to do that. Take money. See, money is not a very good motivator and incentive. Money only motivates you for some time. That is why, even if you increase people's salary, initially they'll be hyper excited, but eventually they come back to being lazy, and then greed sets in and says, oh, you gave me an increment 2 or 3 years ago, now I want more. It never ends. That is why any nationality, when they start getting a salary increment, you notice they start spending more. As they earn more, they spend more. Their lifestyle becomes more expensive. Their choices, their options, their, the way they live. That is why it never works. That is why if you give people more and more money, it never ends. That is why money is a very bad motivator, very bad. And they are just spoiling their citizens by making them self-entitled. I know so many Emiratis who say, oh, I was promised this, I was promised that, I was promised this, I want all this. And they'll sit at home and not do work. I know so many Emiratis who just don't want to go to work. Yeah, I wouldn't blame them. You talk of any nationality, you give them free money, they'll sit at home. What is happening in USA? USA, unemployment benefits, no need to go to work. Sorry, I don't want to work. I want to work from home. Sorry, I don't like this. Hey, give free money, nobody wants to work. USA is now fighting not the pandemic of COVID, of laziness. This is the same thing that will happen with the UAE. See, this, what they're doing is just for fucking hype. Just for people to say, wow, ruler, you're so generous. Wow, king, you're so great. Oh, we worship you. Oh, you are our true leader. Yeah, that kind of loyalty you'll get until the money runs out. Now, the only problem for all this is you keep promising. One day the nation will be bankrupt. This has happened before. And when the treasury is bankrupt, you'll have to terminate people. You'll have to go bootstrap. Many Emiratis will be unemployed, unhappy. And anyway, where the ruler is 70 years old, they are old. They're like, okay, let my sons handle the crisis. For me, temporary, let me be happy. Let me enjoy popular vote. Even my own child, if I pamper it by giving all the luxuries, don't think the child will start working hard. Temptation and human nature, the worst combinations. And you're calling this competitive this thing. This is more a breeding ground for mediocrity. Don't see, once again I'm telling you, all Emiratis are not bad. There are, if there is fire, no, if there is hunger, you will fight it out. And the people who fight it out are the ones who succeed in the end. This free money, free benefits, free everything. People are going to open up business, they'll lose all their money, they will take cards, they'll take loans. You're just making a mess of a already messed up system. You really want to make Emiratis competitive? Open challenge. Keep everyone's salaries equal. Keep everyone's open playing field. Just watch. You'll, like the Olympics, you keep competition equal, right? But follow international rules, right? Do the same. Then we'll see how competitive Emiratis are. I'm not saying they will not survive. 1% will survive. 2% maximum. Rest everyone will struggle. They will cry, they'll complain. But eventually the next generation will become tougher. Otherwise, you will give birth and continue building a self-entitled generation who, I'm Sheikh, I'm local. And that ego and that pride will only remain in that small little tiny country. That's all it is. Anyway, this is my analysis about why this Emiratization project of 50s. Until now, it's nothing but propaganda and big talk and just popular vote. The practical application of this is not sustainable because you don't have any natural resources. You don't have any natural way to make money other than tourism and fake properties and hype. How will you survive, man? There's nothing substance. No, there's no substance. Anyway, you can prove me wrong, or you can put your comments down below. It's me signing off. You guys take care.